this right now, and it has started recording. And from there, I'm going to hand things over to Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so welcome to Northridge Middle School. I want to welcome our rising sixth graders to our virtual open house. My name is Mr. Robinson. I'm the principal of Northridge. I've worked in our feeder pattern for about 10 years, both at Rocky River High School and at Reedy Creek Elementary School. I live in a community and I'm very committed to the success of Northridge Middle School. What I love about Northridge Middle, there are several things. I love the family atmosphere. There are so many great things happening at Northridge. I would be the first one to admit that we are not perfect and we have things we need to work on. But I can promise you we will continue to get better, and we can get better faster if you would join me by participating in our PTSA, our SLT, or our community partnership meetings. My goal and purpose at Northridge is to make sure your child receives a well-rounded education. Yes, math, science, social studies, and language arts are very important, but the arts and the encore classes and extracurricular activities are just as critical to your child's education and development. We are committed to ensure that your child leaves Northridge prepared to be successful in high school and beyond. At any time, if you want to reach out to me, you can see my email address, orlando.robinson@cms.k12.nc.us. So Mr. Marshall went over during the presentation how you can submit a question to us during the presentation. So please use the chat feature to ask questions during the presentation. We will stop periodically to answer questions. This presentation will also be recorded and placed on Northridge's website. So why choose Northridge? Research states that leadership is second only to classroom instruction among all school-related factors that contribute to what students learn at school, meaning the most important thing at a school is the teachers. I'm proud that we have teachers with a lot of experience at Northridge Middle School. The second most important thing for a school is leadership. I'm proud that I bring the Northridge experience from both elementary school, so I know everything your child had to go through in middle school to get the elementary school to get prepared for middle school. And I know where your child needs to go in order to cross that stage as a senior in high school. Also, why I think Northridge is a great school is the diversity, our academic opportunities, our extracurricular opportunities. There is a level of accountability. I often joke with parents about cost and distance. You can get a private school education at a public school cost, which is free. For any of our parents or any of your friends that are considering a magnet school, Northridge gets out of school at 3 o'clock, which gives your scholars ample opportunity to get home or ample opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities. For some of our scholars that choose to go to magnet school, your child's on a bus, does not get home to 5:30 or 6 o'clock. That's not ideal for your child, so I want you to choose Northridge Middle School. I also encourage you to evaluate us and make sure you know the facts versus fiction. There are a lot of myths about school, but I really encourage you to call the school once school resumes and come and take a tour of the school. The right school can make a great difference in the academic career of your child. By carefully choosing the best school for your child's needs, you can place him or her on the road to success. So I want to say again, I want you to choose Northridge Middle School. If you ever have any questions or concerns with me, I want to encourage you to reach out to me via email. Thank you.
Hey, good night, good evening. Chris Kowalczyk, math facilitator at Northridge Middle School. And basically what I want to get into now is, okay, we heard about some of the things. Now let's actually start taking a look at them and see where we go from there. One of the things I want to say is, let's just see what our school has to offer. Hit the next one. Basically, Northridge promotes an environment where students are challenged to learn. They're motivated to achieve, and they're committed to academic excellence. Our kids are creative. they're self-assured, they're socially responsible. One of the big things that we like to talk about is our teachers. Our teachers have very high expectations for our scholars. The instruction is data-driven. Basically, we want scholars to leave Northridge Middle School ready to excel in high school and beyond. We want them basically college and career ready when they leave Northridge Middle School. And of course, one of our mottos I believe is going to be for next year is Hawks Soar to New Heights.
Hi, I'm Tara Anderson, one of the facilitators at Northridge, and I want to talk a little bit about our STEAM program. And at Northridge, our STEAM program fosters high academic achievement while exploring the arts and sciences throughout our curriculum. And we put a big focus on the 4 C's of the 21st century skills, which include critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication.
Greetings, my name is Tiffany Leonard, Dean of Students here at Northridge. Today I'm going to share some information about our Encore course offerings. We are a computer science and coding magnet school, so all students have the ability and are able to receive instruction around computational thinking throughout all of their core coursework. Our students entering in the magnet program will follow the track, which will be shared a little bit later, taking the computer science discovery courses and app creators. Those courses are also offered to students who are at Northridge as their home school. Other CTE and Project Lead the Way courses that we offer are design and modeling and automation and robotics. Not listed on the screen, 6th graders do have the option to also take keyboarding and basic word processing. As far as our foreign languages, we offer French and Spanish. Students can begin to earn high school credit by taking Part A in 7th grade and Part B in 8th grade. However, it is recommended that if you're going to do this, that you might want to take the foreign language in 6th grade to really have a foundation to prepare for that test you'll need to take. Thank you. As stated earlier, we are a STEAM school, which includes the A, which is art. So we have a magnificent fine arts program. Some of the courses in the fine arts program are band, orchestra, chorus, visual arts, and media arts. And just to specify the difference between visual and media arts, the media arts program is actually technology-based, whereas visual arts is more hands-on, and that is the course that is offered to our 6th grade scholars.
Good evening, my name is Jaquetta Patrick. I'm the academic facilitator. I'm going to talk to you about AVID. As you can see, AVID's mission statement is on the presentation. AVID helps us to close the achievement gap and prepare our students for college and become global citizens. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And throughout AVID, they use the acronym WICR, which stands for Writing, Reading, Inquiry, Organization, and Collaboration. These are some strategies that the teachers will use with your child in the classroom with their lesson plans. Next slide, we're going to talk about clubs. We offer different clubs based on the elements of STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Students are given the opportunity to visit these clubs once a week on Friday, so they will rotate throughout the month. Like one Friday will be the S, one Friday will be the T, and so forth. And then you can see on the slide some of the things that our students have done throughout this year: stop motion animation, landscape art. They created some soap, and North Carolina A&T had their technology band come out and visit us. Next slide is the makerspace. Teachers rotate their students through the makerspace on Monday through Thursday. are the days scheduled based on the content. And then we have open days on Friday for any teacher to sign up. Makerspace is a lab that collaborative workspace where students and teachers come to share ideas and engage in computational thinking and create products across all disciplines. Students can create anything in this space during their media center rotation. Again, we have some pictures of some of what the students created in Makerspace. We had one science class to come create roller coasters. We had another class doing a project in front of the green screen we have in the media center. Next slide is on our sports. We offer sports, but it's only to the 7th and 8th grade students. We have 3 seasons, fall, winter, and spring. As you can see in our fall, we have football, cheerleading, and volleyball and softball. Winter, we have girls and boys basketball along with cheerleading. And then in the spring, we have boys and girls track, boys and girls soccer, and baseball.
At Northridge, you'll find an amazing group of dedicated teachers. Each month, our teachers participate in a variety of learning opportunities to help them continue to grow as educators. We have teachers that go in the summer and continue their learning so they can bring what they learn back to their students. Students also, we provide them with lots of opportunities to be supported in and out of the classroom and help students maximize their potential. We also have partnerships with several colleges that are working with our teachers to support our STEAM program.
Okay, now we're going to take a look and see if we have some questions from the chat. So bear with me here 1 second. Okay, looks like we don't have any questions yet, but if you think of questions between now and the end of the presentation, you can go ahead and use the chat function to type in the questions and we'll answer them the best that we can.
Good evening. I am Ms. Chisholm, one of the deans of students at Northridge Middle School. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is the continuation of the vertical learning experience for your scholars. And it builds their capacity in all of their core areas, as you can see on the screen. Those areas are ELA, math, science, and social studies. And our ELA department is focused on expeditionary learning. That is the curriculum that we're currently using that allows scholars to read novels and to just build on those standards that they're learning. With the math, our 6th graders will continue with ratios and proportions and things that they have learned and had access to and an introduction to in elementary school. The same with science, which is going to be an inquiry-based learning experience for them that gives them interrelationships of life, earth, and physical sciences. And following that, they'll have social studies as well. And in 6th grade, they're doing the beginning of the Humane Society to the emergence of the first global age. And again, this course will focus on world geography. It will be a vertical experience for them from world geography, history, and culture, and patterns of continuity and change. So we want you to know that they will be continuing to build on those standards that they learned in elementary school.
Great. And to speak to our advanced studies program, our mission at Northridge, which aligns with CMS's mission, is that we empower all of our students through rigorous curriculum and high expectations. We enriched learning experiences for all of our students to be creative, critical thinking, as I spoke of earlier, communication and problem solving. And we engage all of our students in meaningful, authentic, collaborative tasks and experiences. So in next school year, we're going to be offering Math 1 in 7th grade and in 8th grade. And in beginning the 2021-22 school year, we're going to be offering Math 2. We also offer honors ELA and math courses in all grades.
Hi, my name is Janelle English, and I'm one of the counselors here at Northridge Middle School. I'm going to go over instructions for online registration. We'll be doing things a little different this year due to our current reality. So my co-counselor and I will walk you through the online registration process. In order to obtain the registration form, you'll need to go onto Northridge Middle School's homepage. And as you see circled on the screen is the guidance department. Once you click on the guidance department, it'll take you to the registration page.
Once you get to the registration page, you'll click on the link with your child's grade level for the 2020-2021 school year. We'll use the 6th grade as the example. When you click on the grade level, general directions pop up. Please read the directions carefully. If your child chooses a year-long class, the other class that they choose must be a semester-long CTE class. If your child does not choose a year-long class, they will choose 3 semester courses. All students will automatically be scheduled for health and PE. All students must choose an alternate course that they would like to take if one of their selections is full. If you happen to have a 7th or 8th grader, please note that some of the classes have prerequisites. If you have not taken the prerequisites listed, please don't sign up for the class. Now let's walk through the card. Okay, the first page asks your scholar's demographic information. It's critical that all the information on this page is accurate. So Mr. Marshall, can you put like a little X so we can go to the next, it won't let you bypass it. So answering these questions are very critical to getting the correct placement for your child. Does your student have an IEP or 504 plan? And is your child an English language learner? The next section is the year-long courses. For 6th grade, there are 2 options, band or orchestra. If your child is interested in band, please click band. If they're interested in orchestra, please click orchestra. If they're not interested, please click I do not want to take a year-long course and go to the next selection. The next course section has CTE in Fine Arts and World Language options. All students must choose between design and modeling, computer science discoveries, and keyboarding and basic processing. Please note that design and modeling and computer science discoveries are prerequisites for classes that are offered in the 7th and 8th grades. Please review the Northridge Middle School Planning Guide for more information on the CTE pathways. If you selected a year-long course, after selecting this CTE course, you are done with the registration. If you did not choose a year-long, the next option reveals the world languages and fine arts options. This class is number 2 for students who opted not to take a year-long course. If you did not choose a year-long course, select another course. This would be course number 3 for those students who did not choose a year-long course. All students will choose an alternate course. Once you submit your registration form, you cannot submit again. Please utilize the Northridge Middle School Planning Guide to help inform your course decisions. If you have questions or concerns, please contact your child's grade level counselor For rising sixth graders and seventh graders with the last name A through M, please contact Ms. Saunders. For rising seventh graders with the last name N through Z, and all eighth graders, please contact Mrs. English. Thank you.
Just real quick, the reason that we skipped through those slides is that Ms. Saunders was able to explain all of that, actually walking you through the process. But those slides will be available on the website if you would like to see it presented in a different way.
So during the summer, we will have our Hawk Institute, and this is an opportunity for rising sixth graders and their parents to come out and learn at a deeper level more about the school. We generally have breakout sessions for parents and then sessions for the students to interact with their peers and the teachers that they'll have for the upcoming school year. We are currently planning for the Hawk Institute, and we would love to hear what further information or sessions you would like. So there is a link, a bit.ly link at the bottom of this slide for you to note any sessions or information that you would like to hear shared during the Hawks Institute. We have not landed on the specific date yet, but it will be during the week of August 3rd of this year. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a look. I think we do have some questions from the chat. So let's see here if I can get it to pull up.
First question is the school uniform? Is there a school uniform? And I can answer that by saying, no, we do not have a school uniform policy.
Okay.
Do we have to sign up for the Hawk Institute? Is the second question. Eventually, once we get the institute started and a date, we will send out information, and yes, we will have parents sign up for the Hawk Institute. You will receive that information in the mail. Another question. Are we still having the summer camp? If that summer camp is the Hawk Institute you're referring to, then yes. We do not have a summer camp at Northridge Middle School.
Mr. Breeden, unless the parents is referring to the summer camp with Innovative Learners, I know they do have a free summer camp. We are still anticipating having that summer camp. Once things are back to normal, hopefully when things are back to normal this summer, information will go out.
Okay, and we have a question about where we go again for electives. And so all of the information that we've presented tonight will be on Northridge's website, including this presentation. And there will also be a section that the counselors have put on about registration specifically. And so what I would do is go directly to the website, and you will see where the counselors have their site, and all the instructions for registration will be right there. And there's also a booklet, the registration booklet. It's linked to the website. So it has a description of all of our elective offerings, including whether they meet year-long or if they meet by semester, and also the pathways that we described. All that information's inside of that booklet as well.
Mr. Marshall, I would also like to add that the Encore department will have an Encore showcase on April the 20th at 5 p.m., also via Zoom, and that information will be shared and posted within the week. And that way parents will have another opportunity to engage a little bit more with the Encore teachers and find out a lot more about what's involved in each Encore selection.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Leonard. We have a question about when we'll be able to fill out the registration. I just tried. It says I don't have access. So what we'll do is go back and double check that you don't need a CMS email or specific permission to use those forms. And if you try again either later tonight or tomorrow, that should be working for you. And if not, if you could send one of the administrators an email, and we will take care of that for you. But thank you for that.
Ms. Leonard, can you answer the question from Angel referring to if your child has an IEP in place, who should we contact for ongoing support with the transition from elementary school to middle school?
Well, you should hear from one of the teachers from our school regarding the transition meetings. So between the theater school and our school, we'll make arrangements to set up that meeting with you.
Also, one more thing in regards to registration. Registration will begin today, and we'll check the website to make sure it's working appropriately, but it will end on Friday, May the 1st at 5 o'clock. So all students should go in and complete a registration card by Friday, May the 1st at 5.
Okay, thank you. And then I have a question here about if you're registering, what does IEP mean? That's an individualized education plan. And so that is for our exceptional children students. And so if you're not sure what that is, it may not apply to you, but if you want to just double check, you can email an administrator and we can and find that out for you. Okay. Let me see. Someone asked, is course Miss Sandel? Right now, we're still making the determination as to who's going to teach what, but right now, Miss Sandel will not be the course teacher. She will continue to teach band.
One question says, I hear the school has lockers. Yes, Northridge Middle School does have lockers for students.
Okay, we'll give it another second for anyone to ask more questions. Let me see here. We have the question at Northridge, they can use the lockers. This past year, we did not use the lockers, and that's still something that we need to decide for this coming school year. But by the time July, August rolls around, we'll definitely have made that decision on how we're gonna have locker usage look. So just wait for that information then. And I agree that most schools don't use lockers anymore because really, you know, scholars don't have books very much that they carry around. A lot of it's online, but we'll make that decision in the summer.
So Mr. Marshall, let me jump in there in reference to lockers, parents of rising sixth graders. Our sixth graders will be in our new building in the back of Northridge, and that building does not have lockers. So I can say that sixth graders will not use lockers next year.
Okay, thank you, good point. We have, do you have free or reduced lunch? Yes, all CMS schools offer that application process to scholars. And so you would go to our website for more information about that, or you can go to CMS's website to apply for free or reduced lunch. Now, we are not a school, I can't remember the name, but we don't offer free lunch to everyone. Everyone does receive free breakfast, but you would have to apply for free or reduced lunch. Okay, we have a question. What is automation and robotics? What that is a culminating course. So in sixth grade, the scholars would take design and modeling and then finish with automation and robotics, where basically they use design principles to design different products to solve problems. And if you want to find more information about that, it's in the registration booklet. It does a better job than I'm explaining right now, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. How do you do registration? You would go to the website and it has all the information about that on there. And if you would want to start with this presentation to kind of walk you through it, and then we have a paper copy can be found in the front office. I'm not sure. Oh, that's for applying for free and reduced lunch. So when we're able to access the office again, a paper copy of that application can be found there. Lockers used in the gym. Yes, Mr. Brantley and Ms. Dempsey do utilize the lockers while in the gym.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, sir.
One of the things we like to do is ask for students to also bring their own master lock, their combination lock with them. but you will use lockers, or we ask that you bring your own combination lock as well. And students do dress out for PE as well with the uniform. We have a uniform, and that information will be updated over December.
Okay, thank you.
Sixth graders use Chromebooks. Yes, sixth graders will receive Chromebooks, and you will carry a Chromebook throughout the day.
Okay, we have a question about how do we turn in a letter of affidavit to the school? Right now with the situation that's going on, it's a little bit trickier, but if you email our registrar, I'm going to type her name here in the comments section here, but it's Stephanie English. She's our registrar, and she would be able to let you know how to do that. So I'll type her name in here.
So while you're typing that, Mr. Marshall, I can answer the question from Deborah Richardson. Yes, scholars do dress out for PE.
Okay.
Is there a projected date to come out and physically tour the school? With the situation that we're in right now, we can't actually give a date or a projected date on when you can come out, but as soon as we find out more information from the district, we'll make sure that we give that information to all parents.
Does the school have security during school hours? We do. We have a CMS police officer that's on campus all day. We also have a campus security associate and a BMT.
Okay. Okay, so we have, is design and modeling for everyone or just the magnet program? So all of our courses are open for everyone who walks through the doors at Northridge. Now, if we have students who are enrolling through the magnet program, they are required to follow our computer sciences pathway, which is Computer Science Discoveries 1 in 6th grade. Now, any scholars can also choose to follow the design and modeling path. And so without getting too much into it, let's say if I am a magnet student and I choose to take computer science and design and modeling, that's fine. You just wouldn't be able to take a year-long class because you also have to take health and PE. Yes, we do have open enrollment for our courses. There's a registrar. Yep. Okay, it's actually Stephanie Hill. Yep, thank you. All right, we'll see if there are any other questions. And yes, if you look on the website, it would actually be Stephanie Hill, formerly Stephanie English. Okay, we have a question. When will scholars get their official schedule? I know that the schedules will be finished in the first week in August. And so that's when they would be available, but then we'll start the process of actually mailing them out. But at that time, I'm pretty sure that you would be able to log into the parent portal and see those schedules, but they will be mailed out in August. Okay, we also have a
PTA. Do we have a PTA? Yes, Northridge Middle School does have a PTA. And you'll be able to join the first week of school. They'll be out recruiting volunteers to join the PTA, so definitely do have a PTA.
Yes, the parent portal is through PowerSchool.
Okay. We'll just pause another couple seconds to see if any other questions come through. Okay, will the login information change for the portal? No, it's the same login information from one year to the next, even from elementary to middle school. And if you have any problems with your username or your password, please email somebody from the front office if you go to our school's website, anyone who's in the administrative section will be able to help you with that. And we can go online and pull that information and email it back to you. And then once we are able to access the school building itself, of course, you may visit the school and we can give you that information.
ASAP programs, at most middle schools, there are no ASAP programs, after school enrichment programs. So no, we don't have ASAP programs at Northridge. The teacher-student ratio is within the state guidelines. It's going to be probably 1 to 26 on average. Yes, clubs are open to all grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. When we have our open house or back to school bash in August, you would get information about the list of clubs we offer at Northridge. What is the cafeteria setting like?
Yeah, I can answer that. I think about the cafeteria setting. We pride ourselves on having an inclusive environment for our scholars. And so we do have a rule that no one eats alone. And so we like to encourage our scholars to invite folks that they might see eating by themselves to join them. It is closely supervised and well supervised, and it's orderly, and our lines move quickly. And so we don't have any sort of problems in the cafeteria, making sure that everyone eats and everyone feels safe, both emotionally and physically.
I think that's a very good question that just came in, Mr. Marshall. Will we please do a recap of pertinent information at the end of this session? That's a very good question.
Okay, we see some more questions come in, so I can do the recap of pertinent information at the end of the session. I'll do it right now. So the first part of this session was describing the educational programs that we have here, both through core and through our encore, our elective offerings. And then the second part, our counselors described the registration process. And so the best advice for you is to go to our school's website, and you will see information about registration for the upcoming school year. And you will find the 6th grade level, and you'll be able to click on that and register your scholar for courses for the upcoming year. Now, next to that link, you will also see information about the registration booklet. So if you click that, it'll walk you through all of the different courses that we offer for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, as well as what the encore pathways look like to help you make an informed decision about which courses you would select. Next is CMS transportation currently available to get information regarding bus routes. Yes, they are available. Some might be working remotely right now, but they are available to answer your questions. So if you go to CMS's main page and you click on transportation, and I think it's actually under the families category up at the top, you will be able to find that information there. Now, if you have any specific questions for me, I actually handle transportation, so I'm going to type in my email address in the comments box, and you will be able to email me any questions that you have, and I'll make sure that I get an answer for you.
Yes, school times are still 8 to 3.
Okay. Okay, just going up to make sure that we have all that. Okay. Okay, we
Do
had
you
a
have
question.
gym? I'm sorry. Question was, do you have gym uniforms for sale? Yes, we will have gym uniforms for sale. Mr. Brantley will be sending information out as soon as the year begins.
Okay. How many students generally in the 6th grade class? It'll be an average class size of about 26 scholars. Class starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, so the building opens for scholars at 7:30, and then they go to breakfast and everything, and then at 8 o'clock they would start. Okay. We have a
So
good
Ms.
question.
Ms. Thompson asked, my son wants to know, are the teachers supportive? He's coming from elementary school and he's nervous. So middle is a little different than elementary school, but there's no need for him to be nervous. Next school year at Northridge, our 6th graders would be in teams of 4. So if he's coming from, some of our elementary schools are already departmentalized, meaning he has a different teacher for math and science versus literacy and social studies. So at Northridge, he would have 4 teachers. One would teach math, one would teach language arts, one would teach social studies, and one would teach science. So we did that in a way to make it seem really small, just like elementary school, but we know the building itself is a lot larger.
Okay,
Ms. Littlejohn, the earliest that scholars can be dropped off is 7:30. If somebody correct me if that's not correct.
No, that's correct.
The total number of students at Northridge is we have exactly 1,005 students. Our rising 6th grade is about 340 students. Ms. Anderson or Ms. Patrick, can you speak to the question about AG program and testing?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. So we will have an academically gifted program. And if you look at, if your child was in the program last year, you will be getting an invitation to a special event in May, just to talk more about it. But again, we're going to be offering, we're going to have a TD track starting in 6th grade for our rising gifted and talented program students.
I'm not too sure about what do you, your question about testing. The students will take an EOG in reading and math, NC final in science and social studies for grade 6. And then that's basically state testing. We also do MAP testing. So that's 3 times a year. And then we also have what we call NC check-ins, which are mini EOGs, and that's also given 3 times a year. I hope that answers your question about testing.
I think it's possible the question may have been about testing for the AIG program in middle school.
Correct.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Not too sure that they do test in middle school. I think that test is given in 3rd grade and 3rd grade only. But that's the information for other testing for those who are interested.
Mm-hmm. And if that doesn't answer your question, if you would like to send someone on the administrative staff or Ms. Patrick an email, we can find out for you about testing in middle school, because that's something, to be honest with you, that I don't know if they do that testing in middle school. So that's a very good question.
No, typically that certification and testing is only done in elementary school.
However, I believe that they can still, based on their scores and their performance, follow the advanced studies track in middle school.
That's correct, Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we have a question about the AVID program and how that works for rising sixth graders. So perhaps if Ms. Leonard or Ms. Patrick or Anderson would like to take that question.
So for next year, the AVID program will be specific to our sixth grade students. There will be some opportunities for all students in our building, but we're really going to focus on those wicker strategies with our sixth grade scholars. Those students will be required to have some sort of a notebook that will be organized in a specific way, and that will be shared at a later time. There will be also other opportunities with field trips and special events for those students as well.
Okay, we have a question about volunteering. Ms. Branch in our front office is the volunteer coordinator. So if you would like to email Ms. Roxy Branch, and there's also information on CMS's website about how to register to be a volunteer. But yes, we're always looking for volunteers to help in the classroom, to help on campus with a variety of things. Okay. Required field trips for sixth graders. We do offer a variety of field trips as well, and throughout the year, you will receive more information from various departments about that. Then we have a question or some information about the Duke TIP program. Okay, and so we'll definitely look into that. Thank you for that feedback.
I can answer that question about
Yeah.
Duke TIP. To qualify for the Duke TIP program, the student has to score in the 95th percentile of the state testing. So that can be science, that can be math, or that can be ELA, but it has to be the 95th percentile or above to qualify for Duke TIP.
Okay, and then we have a reminder here about test invigilation for volunteers at the end of the year, and that would be for EOG testing especially. I can't really speak to EOG testing this year right now, but if somehow it comes to be where we're back in school and EOG testing is proceeding as normal, we will be reaching out for volunteers for that. And we'll have time for probably about 1 or 2 more questions because we do have another presentation that starts at 6 o'clock. But if we don't have your question answered, please feel free to email me or anyone on the administrative staff, and we'll be sure that your question is answered.
So for the question about my daughter is at Reedy Creek and participates currently in AVID, will she automatically continue? Ms. Littlejohn, she will automatically continue in AVID in 6th grade at Northridge. In terms of how can my son qualify for honors math based on his EOG score? So obviously this year, there will not be any EOG score. So we'll look at your child's previous year EOG scores, his MAP data, and the way he performed in his class this school year, math class, for first, second, and third quarter. The TD track, it is a ELG qualifier. Ms. Anderson, if you want to provide your email address in there, she can contact you directly.
And what we're gonna do, I'll leave this chat open. That way, if you're here and you wanna look back at one of the responses, please feel free to do that. And it's actually gonna be the same Zoom meeting code for our next meeting, for our next presentation. So if you wanna stick around and then look around the chat even into the next presentation, feel free to do that. And I'd like to personally thank everyone who is here at this meeting. And Mr. Robinson, would you like to close things out?
I just want to say thank everybody for taking out your time for our unusual and unorthodox way of doing an open house. When we get back to business, we do plan on having an open house, obviously in August. And I would encourage you, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me or any member of my admin team at Northridge.
Okay, thanks everyone. I'm gonna unshare the screen so I can get things organized for the next, but I will, it'll be back up in a second. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Torres, would you like to give a quick introduction and just say we're going to wait about 5 minutes or so before we get started with the presentation?
Hola, buenas tardes, buenas noches, ¿cómo están? Para todos los padres que están ahorita en sintonía, quiero pedirle que por favor esperen 5 minutos y después daremos comienzo a la reunión. Gracias.
And for any participants from our meeting we had at 5 o'clock for rising 6th graders, at 6 o'clock we are going to be giving a Spanish version for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So feel free to stay if you would like, but if that doesn't apply to you, then thank you for joining and we'll be in contact.
Solo es una información, no me todo nada. No me sale. Está aquí.